What's up? It's your boy Dynast. At the end of this video, make sure you go to www.dynastmirror.com. Check out our indigenous African art, jewelry, fashion, and accessories. Also go to searchforhuru.com. Learn more information on the documentary we're shooting. Also contribute towards the documentary. Last but not least, go to amazon.com. Search your name, Dynast Amir. Buy a book. I wrote them, so buy one. Wanted to shoot this video today on the African Union recently released a statement denouncing Donald Trump's ban on refugees from Africa to America, specifically Libya, Sudan, and Somalia. But this is what somewhat shook me up or really pissed me off. And Africans, you know I love you. You know I love Africa. You know I'm a displaced African. But this shit pissed me off right here. So they had the audacity, the African Union, who, let's be frank, hasn't done shit for African Americans, hasn't spoke out on behalf of Black Americans. You know, they had the audacity to say, you know, you already kidnapped and took our people as slaves. But you know, let me read the exact quote. Hold on, give me 1 second. I want to get this right. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me pull this up. African Union. We'll say Trump. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Give me a second. Here we go. African Union blasts U.S. for taking its people as slaves, but not accepting refugees. And I'm going to call bullshit on this one. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to call bullshit. Again, what initiatives have you set forth for African Americans? You know how much damn red tape I have to go through if I wanted to become a dual citizenship or to get citizenship in an African country? Tell me where the African Union has reached out, and you guys got embassies all throughout New York and Washington, D.C. Tell me where the African Union or individual African nations outside of Ghana somewhat has actually reached out to Black Americans and said, come home. Or, you want to come home? We'll grant you a citizenship or whatever. None. So the African Union is not sincere in the blast U.S. for taking its people as slaves, because you haven't offered the slaves a home or opportunity to come back. You haven't went out your way and offered or reached out and said, African slaves of the diaspora, come home. We got you. Only countries that have done it, really, somewhat Ghana. You have Haiti and Cuba, somewhat. But the African Union as an organization has never, or any individual country has never went out their way, except for Ghana somewhat, and reached out to the slaves, descendants of the slaves, and said, come home, we got you. I'm going to tell you this story. My first time I went to Dakar, or second time I went to Dakar, or maybe first time, I can't remember. Went to Senegal. I went to Gorée Island. This is a true story. So, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm about to go to Gorée Island. You know, this is where, you know, our ancestors were, you know, the point of no return, where they were shipped off to America and never came back. So I'm a descendant. My ancestors were shipped off from Gorée Island to America and never returned. So I'm a descendant of those ancestors. So I'm coming back home. So, you know, they're like, yeah, you got to pay for a ticket, whatever. You know, let's get a ticket to catch the ferry to the island. So on there, and this is the bullshit, they had the Senegalese price. They had the price if you had a West African passport. I think it's called the ECOWAS. And they had a damn non-ECOWAS or non-African passport price. Why did they try to charge me, a descendant of the slave trade, my ancestors who were kidnapped, why did they try to charge me the non-African price? I raised hell. So I said, you guys are exploiting the slave trade and making money off of this tourist site when my ancestors were kidnapped and taken away, and I'm returning back home, and you want to charge me the non-African price? Bullshit. I raised hell. So they ended up charging me the African price. But that's the shit I'm talking about. You guys are just exploiting this shit because you want America, you want Donald Trump to accept your refugees in your unstable countries, or your refugees in certain countries because you guys, that country's not stable, or you guys can't provide opportunities in those countries. You guys allow the West to still pillage and rape these countries, or the French, or whatever. So you want them to get refugee and citizenship status in America. But for us black Americans, you want to play like you want us to come back. Or, you know, like I said, you haven't opened the door and said, black Americans, come back home, we got you. But you want America to take care of your refugees. But you see what goes on with, you see what happens to black Americans on a basis. Getting killed by unarmed black men being murdered. On camera. Not once did the African Union speak out. The African Union sees all the bullshit that goes on here in America, but not once did you guys speak out. So you guys are just following, you know, Donald Trump's the enemy now, I guess. And he's a safe target because everyone will agree with you and, you know, pat you on the back. Oh, good job, African Union. You guys spoke out about Donald Trump too. Good job. So you guys are just following a leader. But you guys are sincere with that shit. Because if the African Union was sincere about it, they will offer black Americans who are serious about coming to Africa dual citizenship to any country they want. No problem. But you guys still have not offered that opportunity. But you want America to give your refugees green cards and citizenship status, but me being a black American who my ancestors were kidnapped from Africa, if I wanted to get nationality status in a African country, I have to go through so much fucking red tape. So again, until you guys put forth the initiative and actually execute it and not just talk about it, don't exploit the descendants of the slave trade. You're exploiting us right now. You're just using it as political babble. I mean, you're not sincere with it because again, offer the descendants of the slaves who are kidnapped from Africa, offer us some type of citizenship status in any African country that we want. Put that out there at your annual meeting you guys are having right now. If you're not offering a real solution, then don't bring us up. Like, I'm not a big fan of the African Union personally, because you guys sat there and watched Gaddafi get dragged butt naked in the streets and didn't send anybody. But then you guys wanted I'm gonna butcher his name, the ex-president in Gambia. You guys sent troops to remove him from office. But when Gaddafi was getting his ass drugged throughout Libya, nowhere to be found. And Gaddafi was the one that came up with the concept of the African Union. So honestly, I think you guys are full of it. So stop with the insincerity. Stop with the political babble. And if you're serious about fixing the wrongs of the slave trade, of the Africans the millions of Africans who were kidnapped and brought to the New World, then offer us citizenship in any African country that we choose. Do it. Pass that objective, or I'm sorry, that initiative. Pass that. Bring that forth. Until then, don't use us for we don't want to be a part of your political games. That's all I'm saying. Because the question should be, why are these refugees leaving Africa and going to America anyway? Why can't you that's the problem that needs to be identified. Fix it to where in fact, that should be the initiative. No refugees from Africa leaving Africa. No African should leave a refugee. That should be the initiative. Period. Because at the end of the day, when black Americans were kidnapped, or when the slaves were kidnapped from Africa and came to the New World, not one African ship came or attempted to save us. But you guys can fix that wrong. Give us the opportunity to become African nationals in any country we want to. That needs to be the initiative. If not, don't use us as a political ploy or exploit Don't exploit the African the slave trade. Don't exploit it for your own political gain, because you're going to get a pat on the back by some liberals over here in the West. Do not exploit the victims of the slave trade without offering any initiatives to correct that wrong. Follow me on social media. Search for Huru on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook. Dynasty Mirror. Until next time, I'm out.